Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. Round 13 of our Moto2 career mode is upon us, and it's right here in my home GP of Silverstone. So starting in pole position, it's Marco Bezzecchi with Remy Gardner and Grant on the front row, Sam Lowes, Di Giannantonio and Trott on the second, Fernandez, Vietti, Bo Benschneider, Navarro, Dixon, Roberts, Canet, Arbolino, Baldassari, Agura, Cyrene, Bobier, Vierge, Chantra, Ramirez, Luti, Montella, Baltus, Manzi, Garso, Corsi, Buliga, Della Porta, and Albert Arenas at the back of the Silverstone GP grid. So we now look to the lights, Grant starting from third position, waiting for them to disappear, and away we go. We only have one goal in our mind today, and that is to win this Grand Prix. And of course, first though, we need to get into the front by taking the whole shot into Copse. The Italian Marco Bezzecchi on the left-hand side of your screen there. He has been beaten as well. Grant is in the best possible position and leads here in the British GP. Now into Maggots we go for turn 2, chucking on the right-hand side for turn 3. We want to be following this track around really tight to the apex until we get to the next one. We want to chuck it into the middle and get into the right-hand side for turn 5. Someone's gone down behind us, but I have no idea who it is because the game doesn't tell me. But coming out of Chapel, full power now, not trying to use power setting 3. I want to try and use power setting 2 way more often than 3, just in case push comes to shove. You never know in this Grand Prix, and you never know in Moto 2, and Remy Gardner is usually strong towards the end, so I'm going to hold on to power setting 3 as long as I can possibly can. Underneath Petronas Sprinter sign for the Petronas Sprinter team, as we now get onto the left hand side for Vale, hooking in nicely there for the apex, and then chuck it to the right hand side for turn 9. Bezzecchi is 4/10 of a second behind, Gardner roughly the same. As you can see in the left hand corner of your screen there is nothing to give between every single rider right now, apart from one who ended up crashing at the start of this Grand Prix. We will now go into the right hand side for Abbey for turn 11. I was here just a couple of years ago waiting for all the action to start in that corner, and it never came because the race got cancelled, but right now, let's not get into that. Chuck it into the right hand side for Village. Beautiful section of the track there. There is Marco Bezzecchi. We didn't manage to get away from the Italian behind. He is still there, and he is still very, very eager. Only 9 laps around this particular venue because, of course, the lap times are rather long. You're going to be looking at a 2:05, 2:04 potentially if the riders are quick enough, but it's definitely going to be around the remit of a 2:05. Now braking hard into the left-hand side for Brooklands, turn 16. Make sure we don't go too tight and end up touching the inside line there and touching the green. Thank goodness we didn't do it there, but now into Luffield for turn 17. Now I mentioned into qualifying that this particular corner, turn 17 of Luffield, was probably one of the best overtakes I've ever seen, and that is 2013's Jorge Lorenzo going up at the inside of Marc Marquez. It looked like Lorenzo was dead in the water, but somehow he fought back and got up in the inside into Luffields. Now we're going into Copse, really out of shape there for Grant, the Petronas bike going everywhere, but the only problem was we let Marco Bezzecchi go through by making that little bit of an error. We need to fight back as sooner rather than later. Of course, I've mentioned this many times in the channel before, that even Marco Bezzecchi ahead of us, his master, our master, all of us in the sense of MotoGP, Valentino Rossi is the master at fighting back immediately once overtaken. We need to be doing the same here with Marco Bezzecchi. Now we could potentially chuck it into power setting 3 and try and chase him down, but I really want to try and save it just in case push comes to shove. Just as I mentioned on the same lap just a moment ago, we have to make sure we are leading this Grand Prix at all times. I don't fancy Remy Gardner getting past me at any point and trying to chuck in some lap times like he did in Austria. Same can be said for Sam Lowes, who is just behind us now. Right now we're on the cards for a British podium, a double British podium, which would be absolutely super, but I'm sure we'd rather have a British winner. I can't even remember the last time we had a British winner in the Moto 2 class. I don't think we ever have in this particular venue. I think we've been denied every time, from Scott Redding to Sam Lowes to every single person, even Danny Kent. I think Danny Kent managed it in Moto 3, but right now we're in Moto 2, of course, as we line up Marco Bezzecchi into farm. It's not going to happen there, but Village might be not close enough, it doesn't seem. But we might have him on the inside for the loop in just a moment's time. Lining him up now, can we go for it? Not going to be able to go in. No room at the inn there. Not for this one for turn 14. If Jesus were going to be born anywhere, I don't think he was going to be born in the loop. But right now, going into Aintree, we're back on the rear tyre of Marco Bezzecchi. Not going to do that line that he does, because I really don't like that sort of entry going into the Brooklands. But of course, if it works for him, it works for him. It doesn't work for me. But onto the left-hand side we go for Brooklands. We might be able to line him up into Luffield. We've been talking about a manoeuvre there. Well, it'd be lovely if we can get it done. But I certainly don't think we're going to replicate a Lorenzo move going into the right-hander of Luffield. Now, I did choose the medium front and the medium rear for this particular track, and I think so far that is going to be a good decision. The soft option is definitely not an option here today, as Marcel Schrotter is your fastest man on the track right now. The German for the Liqui Moly Intact team. He is in 5th position. That's a great result for him. Not sure what's happened to Sam Lowes and Gardner. They seem to be having a bit of a scrap behind. Half a second is the gap to the Australian behind. Very sad news just coming out recently as well at the time of me recording this. No Australian GP this season, which is going to be an absolute devastating blow to the likes of Jack Miller, Remy Gardner and a lot of Australian fans. And you know what, even me, because Australia, Phillip Island is absolutely awesome track. It's probably one of the best tracks in the venue. I really love seeing Phillip Island. The action's always competitive there. The bikes are extremely fast. It's a damn shame we're not going to get a Grand Prix there. So all you Australian fans, I'm sorry on the behalf of myself and MotoGP, but I have no affiliation, of course. But right now we're going to try and line up Marco Bezzecchi going into the left-hander of Vale. Beautifully done, but Bezzecchi's going to be strong around the outside. Not quite there, but Grant fights back tremendously. That's what you got to do sometimes. Bait him in for a move and then fight back immediately. Brilliantly done there from Grant. I'm very, very impressed with that particular move. I could do that again all day because that is just a beautiful, beautiful manoeuvre. Now onto the right-hand side for Abbey. Lovely tight apex there. We'll be able to hold a nice smooth line going into Farm. And then once again for Village into turn 13. We want to try and set ourselves up for the loop in a best possible way. You can't be going wide into Village and trying to make the corner. And unfortunately, that's pretty much what we tried to do just a moment ago. But we did enter the loop with 7/10 of a second quicker than our previous lap time of a 2:06.399. So a pretty damn decent lap time, I will be honest. But for now, we are focusing on the battle behind. Marco Bezzecchi, 10th and a half behind. Remy Gardner, I don't think he's that far away from Marco Bezzecchi. And we ran it a little bit wide, a little bit deep into Brooklands. But Marco Bezzecchi dives from the inside. I was just about to mention that Bezzecchi could potentially have a lunge because we went so wide. But you can go wide into that corner to line yourself up to the next one. But it really didn't work in that instance. Marco Bezzecchi, the Italian, the very speedy and racy Italian, dived up into the inside and did not look back. He now leads this Grand Prix as we improved absolutely nothing in that previous lap time. Now onto the right-hand side for Copse. Bezzecchi getting a bit out of shape there, taking a too tight of an apex. And now we are right onto the tail of Bez, one of my favourite riders in MotoGP in general. But I am holding no prisoners here today, not in my home track. We might have got the best out of Marco Bezzecchi in Assen, and I'd love to do it again here today in my home track, but if push comes to shove, I'll get aggressive, Marco, and I know you will. That's why I absolutely enjoy watching you race in real life. But right now, back onto the rear of Marco Bezzecchi. I've had to use power setting 3 to try and claw in some time. Dropped into power setting 1 there by mistake, and we're now into power setting 2. Up on the inside for Stowe, not going to be enough. Not quite. We did crash there yesterday, or at least today in the actual standings of videos. But we crashed there early on in qualifying, and I really don't fancy a replication there today. But going into Vale into left-hand side, we could potentially line Marco Bezzecchi up for going into turn 9. Are we going to be close enough? They're going to be side by side. Here they come into turn 10 for Club Corner. Not quite close enough. Oh, right on the rear now. Oh, that was going to be close, touching front tyre to rear tyre. There's usually only one loser and one winner. But thankfully, both men are on their respectable motorcycles, as we might be able to line him up going into Farm onto the left-hand side. Oh, Bezzecchi was strong on the left-hand side. Can we get him into Village? Oh, is it going to be enough? Go on, Grant, over the inside. Not quite. Bezzecchi's still strong. Do we get him into the loop? Run it a little bit wider, then chuck it into the nice tight apex. That is gorgeous. Put that in the DrAce archives of overtaking and chuck the loop into a recommended overtaking spot from the Doctor himself. DrAce gives a double thumbs up on that bad boy. I'm very, very happy with that particular overtake. That was great. But now going into Brooklands, tighter apex this time. We still ran it in a little bit deep. Is Bezzecchi anywhere to be seen? Not quite. Now into Luffield. A little bit out of shape there now. Now going into that corner a little bit different. You're seeing the difference of how Grant was not able to line up the motorcycle into the next corner. So a bit of a mistake on my part. And that one has been just touched the apex once again. And there is another mistake coming in from the Moto3 World Champion. Now, of course, we did improve to a 2:06.122 as far as lap times go. But with lap 5 of 9, this battle will continue to rage on to the end of this Grand Prix. Plenty more laps in it, plenty more tyres, plenty more carnage and skirmishing yet to come. Now into turn 3, Bezzecchi is lining me up. Will the Italian get into the lead? I tell you what, that's a brave and bold manoeuvre if I ever did see one. Bezzecchi is now into the lead, and there's Remy Gardner! No, that's the last person we wanted to see anywhere near the front positions. Remy Gardner is now ahead of us and will extend his championship lead in second place. We have to fight back and we have to fight back immediately. It's going to be 3 abreast going into Stowe, who's going to be on hardest on the brakes. Gardner alongside us. Gardner cut the corner. Gardner pushing me wide. This is getting super tight, super close. We were the big losers on that one, unfortunately. Bezzecchi got out of there unscathed. Gardner shoved us wide. Gardner's got the elbows out here in Britain. He's unmiffed about not having an Australian GP in real life, so he's taking his anger out on Grant now as they battle it out for the World Championship lead. Now Bezzecchi, Grant, Gardner, this is going to be a battle to the finish. Fabio Di Giannantonio was half a second behind, but I really don't think he's a big problem right now because we are focusing only on the 2 men in front of us. Take away Silverstone, take away the Grand Prix itself and the venue and the weather. We just want to win. That's the only reason we want to be competitive here today. We've been out of a victory for too long. We need to fight back, and we are right on the tail now of Remy Gardner. The Red Bull KTM IO rider will be able to smell my breath, and right now it smells of lemon and water because that's what helps my breath out when I'm recording. But right now onto the rear of Remy Gardner, get in behind Bezzecchi. I tell you what, Gardner's going to bolt. Do not let Gardner get into the lead, Marco. Marco gets a bit out of shape on the brakes, and there is Gardner into the lead. The last person I wanted to lead. Gardner is now leading into Luffield. Bezzecchi in second, and Grant is demoted down to 3rd place. We're a second clear of the battle behind. No sign of Sam Lowe, so we won't be getting that British podium that we wanted. Never mind Sam, never mind Jake, I'll do it on myself. We'll be tackling it ourselves, and Remy Gardner, the fastest man on track right now, at 2:05.830. Is Bezzecchi going for that tight apex once again? We still have to get through on Marco Bezzecchi. This is how frustrating this is going to be, because if we can't get past Marco, who's been so impervious in this Grand Prix, we're not going to be able to chase down Remy Gardner. We need a good result here today, so we don't want to be throwing things away. A good podium is great, but we really, really need to win. We have to take points back on Remy Gardner, remove his momentum, because right now it is sky high. Back onto the rear of Bezzecchi, power setting 3. Get into the slipstream, with either of them. It doesn't really matter, just try and take some slipstream as Bezzecchi is now lining him up into Stowe. Marco Bezzecchi is certainly not giving this one up without a fight. Oh, we get too close to the apex edge, just booked and weaved. Round turn 7, not ideal, but we'll go into Vale. We need to try and pick off Marco Bezzecchi, and I tell you what, it's now come at a great time. Wonderfully done there for the Petronas SRT rider. Gorgeous move going into turn 7, or excuse me, turn 8 and turn 9. Now onto the right-hand side for the club corner. We have to chase down Remy Gardner. Looking at the fuel, I really shouldn't be using power setting 3 anymore. Let's use it a little bit for now and try and save it for the last lap battles. I knew this was going to happen. I knew Remy Gardner was going to be quick, but we are quick here into sector 3, right onto the rear going into farm. Turn 12, navigated well. Turn 13 for Village. Grant is closing it really well. Oh, Gardner almost dropped the front. Grant into the lead, he shoves me wide. Oh, Gardner now back into the lead. What a phenomenal battle we are seeing here in this British GP. Onto the left-hand side for Aintree we go. Get into the rear of Remy Gardner. I'm still using power setting 3. I really should heed my own advice and drop it down to power setting 2. We can't afford to lose this Grand Prix. We can't afford to lose 0 points as well. We can't have nothing. We can't have nil points if we end up crashing. So we have to make sure we finish, but we finish ahead of Remy Gardner. Nothing spells pressure more like than that. Now going into Woodcut for turn 17, the final corner, or turn 18 rather. Can't count it seems as we go across the line. We do set the fast lap of the race, but oh my god, Remy Gardner set the identical lap time, a 2:05.787. Both men are absolutely going for it. What a phenomenal Grand Prix this is going to be. Now into Maggots, into turn 3. We are lining Remy Gardner up. Into the left-hand side for Beckett's we go. Could we have a move here? A little bit out of shape for turn 5. It would have taken a stronger man than me to get up on the inside. Marco Bezzecchi! Whoa! Oh, my lord! What has just happened? Marco Bezzecchi has just collided into the side of Grant. He is down and he's completely disappeared from the left-hand side of the screen. What a collision that was. He obviously seen a gap and he went for it, but we are now 0.6 of a second down to Remy Gardner. That could have well and truly scuppered our chances of a magnificent finish here in Silverstone. Oh, I can't believe that. That certainly caught me off guard. Remy Gardner takes a good long look behind him to see if Grant's still there, because he must have heard some sort of carnage occur behind us. Do we have any damage? Do we have any problems now? Is Grant okay? Because that was bloody tight. And speaking of tight, we just went across the line there. We touched it. Oh, almost lodged in the front. Someone else has gone down on the left-hand side of the screen. Was it Sam Lowe's? Sam Lowe's looks like he's gone. 2 championship contenders have just had massive moments in this Grand Prix and will be walking away with absolutely nothing to show for this wonderful weekend for both 2 men. We go into Village and we're trying to recompose, but we are falling behind. We can't use power setting 3 anymore. We've only got 2 laps of fuel remaining, and of course only roughly 2 and a bit laps remaining. This is going to be some hell of a lap if Grant can fight back. We are using power setting 3 a little bit more, but we need to just reduce it just a little bit. Otherwise, we'll never get this Grand Prix finished, or at least we won't finish on the podium or even anywhere in the top 10. We won't finish anywhere because we'll have no fuel left. Now, just having a look on the left-hand side of the screen, you can't see, but I've just worked it out from going back in the video. Sam Lowes is still on the bike. It was Fabio Di Gianantonio who we lost just earlier on, so just wanted to make sure and you were aware of that one. But right now, we'll be going on to the penultimate lap. We are trailing Remy Gardner as he sets another fastest lap of the race, a 2:05.730, 57 seconds clear from our lap time just prior. We need one heck of a lap now, ladies and gentlemen. If the fuel stays roughly around 1.8, we might be able to use power setting 3. Oh my lord, this is going to be one heck of a lap. We should really think about the championship right now. 0.8 of a second to Red Bull KTM rider Remy Gardner is not an easy task to do. It is not an easy feat. We're going to give it 120% right now, just like the difficulty that we're playing on. A little bit of power setting 3 and then no more, because we need to save it. Unless we go power setting 3, chase Remy Gardner down, and then go power setting 1 for the duration of the Grand Prix. Oh man, this is going to be one heck of a lap. We're going to have to conjure something up. We're good on the brakes here going into Vale. Onto the left-hand side we go, touching the apex. Now onto the right-hand side for turn 9 as there's another crasher well far behind us, because we are 1.5 seconds clear from Marcel Schrotter. And I say we are still 0.6 of a second behind Remy Gardner. We are setting a fast-paced lap time right now, but in the bigger picture, it's not going to really put an impression on Remy Gardner right now. We're going to have to absolutely dominate going into Sector 3. I've mentioned it all day. We are quick in this sector. We are closing in very well right now, and Gardner, too close to the apex for my liking, probably would have dropped the front there if I held the brake a little bit more. We're getting a little bit out of shape going into the loop. You've seen the bike bucking and weaving. We're definitely under pressure, but we're also at the same time putting a lot of pressure on the number 87. Wayne Gardner's son, Remy Gardner, is about to take another victory this season. He'll be chuffed a bit, but we want to deny it. We want to be the spoiler of this particular Grand Prix, and I tell you what, we are closing in. We're looking a bit out of shape, and I'm fearing for my life that I'm going to drop the bike here. The medium front and medium rear has been a bloody brilliant decision, though, because they are lasting quite well. Which begs the question, how on earth is Remy Gardner on a soft front and a medium rear and still able to chuck in fast lap times that he is doing right now? Across the line, he does improve, but then Grant improves by a whopping 2:05.395. Remy Gardner wasn't even in the 2:05s, but Grant is. This could be one heck of a lap. I've said it a couple of laps now in a row. Please, we need to produce something absolutely phenomenal going into Maggots. Hold it onto the right-hand side. That familiar right boot to DrAce is chucked to the floor. Left-hand side for Beckett's we go. We mustn't get this one wrong. Beautifully done for turn 5. Nice tight apex. Get ready then to chuck the power on left-hand side. Oh, a little bit of a slide. We are into power setting 3 because we have 2 laps of fuel remaining allegedly. So let's just go for it. Power setting 3 from here on out. Let's go for it. 0.7 of a second gap it is to Remy Gardner. We know we're quick going into Vale for turn 8. We know we're quick going into Abbey and Village. We have to just work this together and just produce something absolutely phenomenal. Into Vale we go. Hard on the brakes. Left-hand side we go. Nice tight apex. Pretty good. Turn right. 9 done. Yes, we're getting closer and closer. It's less than 0.4 of a second into club corner. Oh, a little bit excited on the acceleration there. Speaking of excitement, I'm feeling a bit shaky now. The hands are going. I'm sweating onto the right hand side for turn 11. We are closing in on Gardner. The Australian versus Britain once again. Farm, can we get close enough into Village? It's not going to be enough. One of my favourite overtaking manoeuvres, and we haven't been able to do it. Village. Could we get him in the loop? Let's line him up. Go into the loop. Tight apex up at the inside. Brilliantly done. Grant is into the lead. Remy Gardner, can he fight back? He'll be on the left-hand side of the tyre for Aintree. Not quite. Oh, this is going to be it. Grant is on a ridiculously fast-paced lap time right now. This could be a potential 2:04, but right now focusing on the task at hand, breaking into Brooklands for turn 16. No sign of Remy Gardner. There he is. He's lifted me up. Remy Gardner into the lead. Can we fight back? Can we do the Lorenzo? Get up at the inside. Lorenzo style. Come on. The voice is going. Get up at the inside. We're alongside him in contact. Oh, the voice is gone. We've done it. Oh, Grant. We've done it. Yes. Hands in the air. Grant has done it here in Silverstone. Wins in front of the British fans. Oh my god! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what a magnificent finish! Grant beats Remy Gardner in a last lap showdown, doing the Lorenzo. Wow. My apologies to everyone's ears for me screaming absolutely manically, but that was an incredible finish. Grant wins from Gardner, and Marcel Schrotter finishes on the podium in 3rd place. And look at Marco Bezzecchi, who crashed early on in this race, finishing in 9th place. Unbelievable. So we'll look at the championship standings. Remy Gardner's championship lead has been cut down to 4 points as Grant does the business here today in Silverstone. Raul Fernandez in 3rd place, and Marco Bezzecchi somehow moves ahead of Sam Lowes, but is 50 points behind in the championship standings. A quick look at the championship standings for the teams. No changes right now. Petronas Sprinter Racing still trailing by 66 points to the Red Bull KTM IO team, who look to be very, very comfortable in the team standings. So guys, as always, thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I have absolutely adored this particular Grand Prix. It was so competitive, there were so many overtakes, and the voice is now dwindling. But my god, I love this channel. Thank you very much for watching the video as always. Like, comment and subscribe if you did enjoy. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload. And I will see you next time. Ciao for now, guys. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.